Okay, new GoPro. Testing it out and see how the batteries go. Hopefully a little better than the old one. I'm going to have you turned off because everyone's seen most of the trip all the way up the roads. It's a little windy, it's a little chilly. It's about 14 degrees. I just have one jacket with me and a scarf. The main question is whether the wind noise on this thing is any bad. I don't have a dead cat or an external microphone, and I may have to put on a jacket. It's a little nippy. I'm not sure at this point. As a matter of fact, it's 1500 meters. I'm going to take another jacket. Well, I should be okay. It's supposed to be 19 later, so I get to turn you off, and then I'm not turning you on until I get much higher up. And better not rain, because I don't have a rain jacket with me. It's not supposed to rain. I mean, I may take a jacket with me after all. It's an extra kilo, but anyway, just in case. Well, overheating, so I had to strip off. I'm at the top of the yellow house. It's blowing a cold wind though, so I don't know. Keep going. Well, I'm just testing the audio, and I have to do white balance soon. I've already been passed once by a young lady. I passed a lady with her dog, so there are a few people out. It's pretty nice weather, but the wind is pretty cold. And the million-dollar question is the audio, do I have to shout? Or is the audio going to be full of wind noise? Because if it is, then I have to buy 1,000 kroner for a special cage that has a microphone input, so I can use my external microphone with the dead cats, the windbreakers. So I'm hoping that the wind isn't terrible. If it is, we'll find out tonight. If it is, then that sucks. Another thing to buy. Seems to be working okay. Batteries are at least a lot better. That was the main thing, and it should be less wobbly than the old one. A lot less wobbly. Otherwise I don't like it very much. As soon as I touch the back of it, the touch screen, it changes things, and it's a bit of a mess. But anyway, you kind of see what I'm doing. Oh, the screen blacked out. That's strange. Huh, alright. It's not using too much battery. There's Holling's got about. She's already miles ahead of me. And she only passed me a few minutes ago. Alright. Well, now the screen is showing. It's time to do... Where's the sun? The sun is there. White balance. And then color chart. Alrighty. It's shady, so I have to do that again when the sun comes out. But anyway, the main thing is white balance. And then the million-dollar question is, I haven't even set up the microphone. I'm not sure how it's working, but I don't want to have to shout. It's a bit strange shouting by yourself when you're hiking. People look at you strangely. Anyway, there's Lukturl. Normally I'd go straight ahead to Rügen. If I was lazy, I could still do that today, but we're going on a longer hike. Got an early start, it's nice weather. Got the drone. See how far we get. We don't have to go all the way, there's no pressure. I probably will though. Once I get started on such a long hike, I'll probably go all the way. I've got a big sandwich with me and big baguette, roast beef baguette. So we'll see. I'm taking it slowly and easily. I've been going, oh shoot, I've been going half an hour. It's half an hour here. It's another 20 minutes up to Tvergastein. So we're going towards Tvergastein. So it's more than 7k. I have to go about 5 or 6k just to get to the start of Tvergastein. Most people just go looking around. And then during the summer and during the weekend, there are a lot of people who drive to Tvergastein. They can park there. There's a road all the way there, and they walk down here this way, and then I guess there too, because someone picks them up, someone gets left behind. Too far to walk to Yardo. A lot of people do that on skis in Easter Polska. Have to pee, there's nowhere really to go. Middle of the Hittefeld. So, big rock. So I really don't know. I think the wind's going to blow straight into the microphone, and this is going to be borderline useless. But we'll try. Well, the battery works. That's a really crucial thing. It's only down to about 95% now, whereas the old batteries would be nearly dead within 5 minutes. So that is the really crucial big difference. That was a crisis on the camping trip. Anyway, well, I've been going for 40 minutes, 2.5 kilometers, pretty slow, but I've been purposely not trying to tire myself out. I'm at the trailhead. There we are. Mama's been here quite a few times, though it's a couple years ago now, or 2 or 3 years ago since we last hiked this. Since she's been here, this was in summer, so could have been 3 years ago even, but certainly done it a few times. And it didn't used to be signposted, now it is. So it used to be impossible, used to be more or less impossible to find on the way up anyway. But so the sign's only been there a couple of years, I think, maybe 3. But anyway, now we've got a huge slog uphill, 5 kilometers at least. There's a couple up ahead of me, so I'm going to let them get a bit ahead. And I have to find somewhere to pee without making show of it. And I probably have to do a poopy. But I only bought a few tissues. I went before I left, but stomach is, I don't know. What did I have last night for dinner? I don't remember. Anyway. Beef steak, strip loin for dinner tonight. I bought a huge 1 kilo piece of beef before I left last time, which is vacuum packed, so it should be okay, with French fries and HP sauce, or red wine sauce, or pepper sauce, or garlic, butter. It should be good. I'm looking forward to that. I can cut a huge one if I want. 500 gram steak. Beef orgy. Alrighty, I better turn you off. Battery's still... Well, the back screen turns off after a while, so I can't see. Battery seems to be doing fine though. Now the only question is the wind and the microphone. The rest seems to be working. Wow, problem. It's not signposted and the trail splits on both sides of the creek. It says Istosa, and Tvergastein definitely is this way, but I think it's the right side. I'm pretty sure. Well, that's quite a major trail over there, and I don't know where it heads. It may head closer to Tvergastein. Maybe going on a bit of a detour if I take this. Needs better signposting. It says something here, Tvergastein. It's carved by hand. Oh, Prestholt over Hesteberge we do cross. Looks like 7 kilometers. Alright. So looks like we do have to cross over. I'm not sure, this probably goes the same way. It's the bigger trail, but that's also quite big. Sign points that way though. They're both, I think they both, whoops. I think they both go the same way, they parallel each other, but I want to be on the left trail. That's not very good, they need more signs, proper signs. The one on the right says Prestholt over something, it's just marked in the pencil. Can't see what it says. Oh, that's Prestholt over Eimahea. We don't want that. That goes to Eimahea, it goes that way. That's too far, it's only 4 kilometers, but that's got to be wrong. It's more than 4. But we don't want that, we want Hesteberge. Hesteberge is closer to where we want to be. Alright, is it recording? I touched something on the back, that's the problem with this camera. Well, that's a major problem because if you touch the back of it, then it does strange things, focusing or whatnot. But here we are, I'm not that far from the cabins. The beginning of the trail is just by that last cabin down there in the middle. And while I'm here, so yeah, they both go to Prestholt, but this is where the trail bifurcates and they meet up here again. So we don't want this one. Mine on the right is wrong. Faster to Prestholt, but we're not going to Prestholt. Anyway, do you in the sun, and then like that, get the colors right, in theory. The colored chart doesn't work too well, but the gray chart is very useful. So my color grading is getting much better, even though I'm an amateur. Even on the old monitor, 10 or 12-year-old monitor, Aristosa, the old Samsung, which is also my TV for a while, combination TV monitor, I'm still doing a pretty good job. So I could just put it on auto, but it wouldn't be nearly as good. I mean, I wouldn't get all these lovely colors from these little flowers, whatever they're called. So, and they're different shades of green. So it pays to put in the extra effort. It is an extra effort, but I've got it down to about, takes me an hour and a half, an hour really. It only takes about an hour to color grade now. So I've got it down pretty fast. Alright, we're heading in the right direction. Tvergastein is a few ways over to the left, and it's another 400 meters up at least, or 350. So, and a good 7 or 8 kilometers from here. So all up, I think we checked it when Mama and I did it. We went nearly to the cabin, just not the last little bit. It was quite steep, and there was snow, so it was a bit sketchy. That was an 18 or 20 kilometer trip. That was the limit for Mama, and I was very tired too. So this is more or less the identical trip. I think we did some bushwhacking then, so we were extra tired. I don't remember. I only have a few photos of it. It was a long time ago because it was on my own, my first Galaxy Note, so it's actually at least 7 or 8 years ago. because my new phone is 7 years old, so it would have been 2013. I have a photo of it somewhere. I've got some people ahead of me. Well, I've been going for 3.2 kilometers and an hour and about 3 minutes. So an hour walking, basically slowly, very slowly, gets you up here, which is not too bad, and it's a few ways above Istul, so I can kind of see if I can check the height. Yeah, so 222 meters I've gone up. So that's, well, respectable. I have to go up another 300 meters though, so I'm less than halfway. So that's if I go all the way to Tvergastein. So I'm about 1100 meters up or something, I'm not sure. Well, I'm 1200 meters up because Istus is 1990. Anyway, I'm going to wait a bit and let these people get ahead of me. I'm catching up too fast. Slow and steady wins the race. My new hiking shoes are pretty good. At first they were a bit loose in the heel, but I just tightened up the laces and they're fine. They're lightweight but sturdy. Not as nice as my old ones, but the old ones, there's no rubber left on the heel. So, and they're only 1,000 kroner, so that was a bargain. They're half price, of course, so 50% off. I may even go to Yellow and pick up another pair for Bergen and just leave these here. That's tempting. It's such a bargain. You don't see bargains like that every day. They're normally 2,500. We'll see. And only in my size, only size 42 is on sale, which is perfect. Let's talk about, you need to get lucky sometimes. The boots were half price as well, and they're also very good. So anyway, bye. This is quite relaxing actually. It's nice. It's not too steep. As you can see, it goes gradually up, so if you go slowly you don't get too puffed, and you take a lot of breaks to film like I do, then you don't get puffed at all. So at this rate I could go along for hours and hours, just kind of slowly moseying up the hill, and it's going to take me hours. According to Tvergastein though, from Istus to Tvergastein and back is 3.5 hours marching time, no breaks, but that's crazy. And then you're running, you're doing, it's 6 kilometers an hour, you're basically jogging, so Tvergastein is all bullshit their times, so you can double them. I mean, it's not 3.5 hours up and down. They made it up as 15 kilometers, I mean it's more than that, but so they just do it from the map, and then they figure out you go 5 kilometers an hour without any pack, which is, nobody goes 5 kilometers an hour, you're jogging. You may go 3.5 or 4, you can go 4 kilometers an hour at a very fast walk, but 5 is borderline running, small jogging, and then you have to go up 500 meters, which makes a big difference, and they don't take that into account, so their times are just bullshit. I'm so over Tvergastein, I think they're just hopeless. Anyway, I let my membership lapse 10 years ago when I gave up on them. I still have a key to the cabins though, so anyway, tent weighs a lot more, but then also I don't think sharing a small cabin with strangers during this corona period of time is a good idea at all. I wouldn't do it. I don't know how many people are doing it. I don't know if they have many people. The bigger cabins where there's a host, they're limiting the number of people who can book, and you have to book ahead. I think all the cabins you have to book ahead. I don't see how the tiny ones in the middle of nowhere they can do that, but I think tent is the way to go. That's why there was no salmon fishing this year, because I have to deal a toilet block and a shower block. I have to deal a shower block with total strangers from all over Europe. You're not going to happen. So yet again, No salmon fishing. That makes it 6 or 7 years in a row no salmon fishing. It's pretty bad. Oh well. I got in some half-assed trout fishing in the h264, which resulted in one tiny piddler, and I may get one trip to Mjølfjell. I'm still a bit fished out after the h264 trip though. It's disappointing. Well, I've reached the kind of plateau. They turned around, the people ahead of me, older couple. This runs parallel to, it's over to the left, the ski trail up to Tvergastein. But on this side, just in the valley over there, one of those valleys below that big hill, runs the other trail I passed the fork lower down, which goes to Eimaheia, and that's the one that actually Mum and I usually take, or we took last time. That goes to Tvergastein directly, only 4 kilometers from the. So I still have some up and then quite a flat bit and a very nice valley ahead. And it would be great fishing if there was fish and if the river was a little bigger and a bigger lake. I can't believe this is all private. It sucks. Because this is doable with the tent, and you come up here and or a day trip. A tent even would be cool. And if they stocked it with fish it would be even better, but it belongs to the terrible people at Tvergastein, the greedy landowners. So no fishing. They're greedy. Grunneiere, Tvergastein. So no fishing really at Ustås, and h264 looks pretty bad. So I don't know. Mjølfjell is not very good either. I've never caught anything at Mjølfjell. Once, one piddler 20 years ago. So struggle. Go back to Jotunheim and Finn. There's fish there. There's even invited them. May have to put on a jacket soon. The wind is a little chilly when the sun goes. The sun has disappeared. It was hot earlier. Warm. This is now down to about 70%. So this camera uses up a lot of juice. It's the screen in the back. Or, I don't know. But you do need a lot of extra batteries. I'm guessing you get less than an hour. I don't know how fully charged these batteries were. They're supposed to be fully charged. So I have 2 more, that should be enough. But for full days filming you probably need 4 batteries. So 5-day hike you'd need about 10 or 12, and they're very expensive. 300 kroners each, which is a rip-off. So basically you have to charge every night all the batteries from a big battery bank. But at least they're lasting longer than the old GoPro, I think. I mean, maybe not much more. Those batteries are really dead. Anyway, there's a Varda. I can see the screen map. Anyway, alright, enough for you. Well, I can see the goal. It's miles away and very high up. I'm halfway between Ustås and the end destination, so it's 3 hours hike from Ustås up there, which is double the time the Tvergastein says. Tiny little prick, I can show you. It's kind of, there's a patch of snow below it on a shelf there, and it just looks like a dark spot, a dark thing. That's Arnenes's, the philosopher's and climber's cabin. Quite a spot to build a cabin, amazing. No water, and there's a lake nearby, and no electricity. But that's probably how he liked it. I think that'd be great, and it's quite big too. So enough space for a lot of books. You could sit and read and write, and that's what he did towards the end of his life. And he did a lot of climbing. He was very fit, a very good climber. His son is a climber as well. deep ecology or whatever that's called. I don't know. I've never read any of his stuff. But so I've got miles to go. I'm only halfway, but I've only been going. I started at 10 past 11. It's now 12:30, so I've only been going an hour and 20 minutes. Slow and steady. I'm going very slowly. Oh, battery on this is going very fast. It's still two-thirds now. Good thing I brought extra batteries. We got some friends. This is the sheep from Hollingskarve that they say. Lam fra Hollingskarve. Maybe that's them. Although they sell hundreds if not thousands of tons of that, so I think so not all of it's from Hollingskarve somehow, and that was a joke at the local joker. Well, I've got miles to go. I can still see the cabin. Just barely. There's no snow this time. When Mum and I went, there was quite a bit of snow. She didn't like that. That's a long time ago. It's between 6 and 8 years ago, because it was on my old mobile, which I got about 7 years ago, or stopped using 7 years ago. Long time ago. I'll look up when I get back. Oh, there they are, the babas. Quite a few of them. About 20 or 30. Giving me more up here. Inspection, intruder alert. This stabilization seems to be working really well. There's more babas. I don't have any food for you. No salt. Taking all that. This is why dogs have to be on a leash during the summer months. Bah. I remember this old carriageway. Anyway, oh, I can still see Tvergastein in the very distance. Oh, long way. This is quite a demanding hike. Nice, very nice hike, but 3.5 hours while your turlag is really sprinting up and down. An hour and a half to go, 500 meters up, over 500, and about 10 kilometers. Good grief. It is doable, but you're running. Just bullshit as usual with Tvergastein. Anyway, well, I think we have to do one of these guys. The sun has kind of disappeared, so new grey, new color balance. But there's a plateau coming up, and you get a view, quite a view. It's a nice valley, really nice. To the right down there is Tvergastein. May be able to see it. Up there is Amahayo. Further over to the right, quite a bit over that way. I could go to Tvergastein now if I wanted to, but to Tvergastein views. I told Mum I'd do it, so you can see Tvergastein in the distance on that ledge up there, right above a little patch of snow in the middle of the shot. I don't know, in 4K you could see it. There's even a pond here. I don't think there's any fish, but if you wanted to camp here and go for day hikes up the top of this thing, this big rock, you can go up the gorge there. I have to watch where I step, there's loads of sheep poo. And you can go up the gorge a fair ways in summer. There's still snow at the top. I'll always be there year round at this rate. It was a cold July, and I think that's marsh, but there's a pond. A little small for fish. We may get some sun this afternoon. There's a Varda. And this looks like it's like carriageway practically. I don't know if this were actually carriages that went here back in the old days, but or if it's just a trail. Looks like a carriageway. Anyway, it's a nice valley. Really nice. And I spent, well, an hour and 40 minutes to get up here. So it's really not that far, and I'm going slowly and stopping and filming, and I'm going at a very leisurely pace, as you can see. So not sprinting, you could do it in, without filming and sprinting, you could do it in a little over an hour. So maybe the 2 log estimates are not that far off. Although, I mean, you still have 300 meters to go up to the top of that thing. So yeah, I think their estimate is bullshit. Excuse my French. This is, we might even see, or we won't actually see it, the sign at the top of Tvergastein, because we're not going to the valley first. And then it's very complicated finding the trail to Tvergastein is a puzzle. Lots of little goat trails and no main trail, so they kind of need to signpost that, but it's not the official trail, and it is a private institute that runs it, or a foundation, so it's not open to the public, and they have visiting scholars that go up there and study and write and read. You see them going up, a lot of Italians and Europeans with huge backpacks and wrong skis if they go in winter. Well, not all of them. Some of them are properly equipped. But heading up from h264, you're wondering what on earth they're doing, because there's nowhere to camp at h264, but they're all heading up to Tvergastein. So people go there in winter too. Very cozy. But anyway. Alright, turn you off. Battery's at, I don't know, because the screen blanks out to save juice probably. I could probably keep turned on, but I'd just run out of battery. Well, I'm on the ski trail to, standing more or less right on it, ski trail from h264 to Tvergastein. So the stalker they leave up all year. There's the sign, Finn's favourite trail, and it goes down along here, and long kind of shallow hill down, which is pain coming up, and Tvergastein all the way in the distance. That little black speck I think is Tvergastein. And it's a very nice trail along the, we'll meet the intersection along the creek towards Tvergastein. I don't know where the trail is exactly here. It's further over. May even be on the other side of the creek. Very nice hike actually. It's a nice round trip. And then you go back over those hills up there, past Aima here, which is over there, and then meet up on the trail I just took. And you can see Tvergastein up there on the plateau, the shelf, the mountain shelf, or whatever you want to call it, Hilla shelf, the mountain shelf. And now the weather's nice. Now the sun's coming out, it's stopped blowing quite as much, not as cloudy. Anyway, and I still have, doesn't say, about 60% battery left, and I have 2 more batteries, so I'm not running out of batteries, but need 3 or 4 for a decent hike. That's obvious. It's a lot of footage, but anyway, curious how the microphone works. The microphone and the stabilization is the big worry. The rest is probably the same as my old camera, quality wise, but the stabilization should help, and the microphone is crucial because the wind is now blowing straight in it, and I may have to shout to make myself heard. Anyway, helicopter very low on the trail there, like someone's been lost, or I don't know. I thought they were sending supplies to Hästberget, but they're right above the creek area there. Like someone's in trouble. Well, that's one reason not to fly the drone around here. Jesus, you can see it against the snow now. That's really not good. There's someone fallen down. That's a strange place for him to be. Looks like he's searching. Or he's about to land. No, he's looking for a spot to land. It looks like he's landed. Right on the hillside there where I'm going, on the trail. It's like someone got in trouble. How could you get in trouble there in a summer day like this? Unless he's fallen climbing. Yeah, he's landed. Oh, that's exciting. That's not good though. I can see the trail across the snow. I didn't hear him at all earlier. Strange place to land. Unless they're geologists or something. It's a red, doesn't look like a normal rescue helicopter, but it could be a local one. It's very strange. Birdie. He's landed. That's very weird. Don't think there's many hikers out now. Oh, I see someone going into the helicopter. It's tiny from here, I can barely see it. Shows how far I have to go. Maybe someone had a heart attack. Missing sheep, who knows? Wouldn't surprise me if they sent a helicopter to pick up a sheep. It's landed there quite a while too. I thought he was there, he's taken off. Is he going to go up to Tvergastein? He's coming this way. It's only a little helicopter, and it looks too small for an emergency helicopter. It really does. It's too small for an emergency helicopter, I think. I can't tell. What a strange place to land. It could be Fjelldriv. Maybe they're setting up a Fjelldriv thing there. Mountain fox, Arctic fox. That was very weird. Naturoppsyn, the rangers, could be the rangers after me in case I decide to drone inside the national park, which I probably will do actually. I mean, it's a great view. I don't think anyone's... They could report me to the police if I do it, but I don't think there's too many people up there. Who knows? I'm allowed to drone from Hästberget. It's not that exciting though. Could drone in towards... Well, if I'm outside the park, I can technically fly inside the park, drone into the park. It's 1200 meters. It's 600 meters above me, so it's a long way to the top there. And I can only fly my drone 125 meters up in the air, so it wouldn't even get close to getting to the top. Anyway, I could fly there. I could go to the top of this h264, this little thing here, fly down towards h264. Who knows? We'll see. Or I could just break the law and fly from inside the national park. The cabin Tvergastein is inside the national park. So, well, this was a long video clip. Well, that's exactly 2 hours since I left on the button, and I'm just at the border of the national park where I'm not allowed to drone. And I can see Tvergastein. Go down a little bit and then it's all up 250 meters or something, or more, 300 meters. It's a fair ways up. I think I'm at 12 or 1300 meters here, so maybe it's only 200. But as you can see, this is now no droning area, which I might just do anyway. But with a helicopter flying around, that was not cool. Don't want to drone which you can't see. Maybe it's too far away, maybe it's high up. He was really low down. No droning. There's Tvergastein. You can see it pretty clearly now from here. We almost made it, but Mama didn't want to go. The last 20 meters was steep and exposed and snow. And she didn't want to do that. It is very steep, the last bit. On one side there's a cliff, more or less. It's not a terrible cliff, but it's not for Mama. She was so close, but I think that was too much. It was already screwed up her courage to go up this big hill in front of us. So I was very impressed she did it, because that was as steep as Mama's done in many years, I think, or ever. Maybe the steepest climb she's ever done, apart from Skolatorna, and that was probably airier and steeper, more exposed. But well done, Mama. And maybe it was only 7 years ago or 6 years ago. It's very impressive. Anyway, and then I have to somehow find the trail. I can see the main trail up to cross the creek. That creek is a little small for fishing. Maybe there's some piddlers further down. Now that way it may get big enough, but it's little small for fish. And we may even get a few sprinkles of rain, so I'm glad I brought the raincoat after all. The backpack is, although the drone weighs quite a bit, once I strap around my waist it's not that bad. And it certainly weighs less than the torture pack camping. Probably weighs, I don't know, 7 kilos or something, all up, which is not pretty small. I get a break by the creek, I think. I have to screw myself, I have to psych myself up to cross, to go up that damn hill. Somehow have to find the crossing point. We lost it last time, couldn't find it. It's really difficult to find. It's not marked. There's a stake here and that's about it. There's a pole where there should be a sign, you'd think, if they'd signpost this, but could be the people, the foundation that runs Tvergastein, that owns it, doesn't really want that many visitors peering in the windows at the guest researchers. Maybe. I don't think it gets that many people coming here, really. It's not that popular. Surprisingly few people out and about. I mean, it's a Monday, but still, it still was fairly empty. Though I went early, but I mean, school holidays are not over yet, so alright, just have to cross here, I think. Cross here. I still don't know how this microphone is working, if it's working at all. Mama didn't like this, if I recall. Something about crossing little creeks Mama doesn't like. So that was a bit of a drama getting her across there. And I have to cross further over this side, I think. This is just a tiny trickle, and then this one is a bit more challenging. It's quite a bit of water. Where am I supposed to cross without getting soaked? Further up, over here maybe. I think I see my spot. Right here. May get a bit wet. Just here. Ooh. Piece of cake. Left knee is hurting a bit. It's not so good. I'm too fat, basically. Now I have to shout because of the wind. And battery is below 50% now, so I should probably conserve. Go up a little ways until the crossing. Take a break at the crossing. Alright. Wow, does it look familiar? I should have crossed down there, the creek maybe. There's goat trails everywhere. This seemed like the main trail though. I don't know. I have to cross this creek somehow. Could be easier said than done. Should look familiar to Mama. Finn hasn't been here yet. So if he comes here one summer instead of winter, hard to organize. I can see the trail across the snow up there, I think. To cross up further up. Take a break at the crossing. It's a pretty creek, and it's quite a gorge. Clouds should go, I wish they'd go away. It's quite a hill, quite a rock, pretty big. Alright, I get to turn you off. Well, I'm at the sign, and you're not going to believe the sign. Some ski resorts and other places have a bra tree, so bra sign, as you can see. Someone's so anyway, no trail goes up there, but I'm really not sure where it crosses. I think further up. I assume it crosses further up. This is where Mum and I got lost last time and really bushwhacking over to the left, over that way. So just as well I brought the extra batteries. This one's 3/4 dead. It's a cute little creek. The stabilization seems to work really well. I think the helicopter was down putting salt licks or something for the sheep. There's quite a few sheep up here. And there's a cage which looks like he would have been putting, I don't know, salt licks or something, and they don't hike it, I guess. Expensive way to do it, but Norwegian farmers have a lot of money, can helicopter for that kind of thing, so that's what he was doing, because it was right here, more or less. So anyway, something like that, something to do with the sheep. Unless it's a cage for fjellrev, but I don't think it is. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna head up, and then when I get up there I'm gonna take a little break as soon as I cross the river. Well, I've no idea if I'm on the right trail. I just think it's further up, above these things. It's quite a hike. And then I don't know if this is for fjellrev or something else. There's a salt lick there. But if this is where they keep fjellrev, if they put them here to start with, I have no idea. It's very strange. There's two of them. Really bizarre. So I don't know, but then they can't get out, which is weird. So they starve. So I don't know what that is. It's bizarre. Maybe it's for salt licks, and then they open the little gate things there. I don't know, or feed. Maybe it's for feed or something. It's bizarre. Anyway, here's quite the hill. Come up a fair ways. Alright, after goes more or less straight up, and then I don't know, and then across somewhere. I have to find the trail going to the left. I don't know where it goes. I think further up. I think it goes above those. I may have to bushwhack a bit. It doesn't go this far down, I don't think. I have to go further up. Anyway, all right. Oh, I'm getting up there, but pooped. I see Tvergastein, so I think I'm on the trail. Good trail. This is not Dante trail. Here's Tvergastein there. There's one up there, and then branches over to the left. So it's quite a big rock. Some people go in that gorge, so there's a trail there too. Don't know where it goes. I should do it while I'm here as well as Tvergastein, but I don't know. This is probably a long enough hike, but what a view. See behind me, gorgeous. It's quite a view, and that creek actually is a bit small, but it does look tempting. If they'd stock it with some little fish, it would be pretty good. So I think the helicopter was here for the sheep. Anyway, I've still got over 100 meters to go, 150 probably. Ugh. Just barely started on this hill. Anyway. Well, I found the trail. This is it. I remember it. This big Tvergastein. 150 damn meters to go. So I'm all this way, but you know, it's nearly 300 meters from down there, which is a lot. That's full flame, and again, that's more. Some Tvergastein from there to the top. It's just a long way, so I'm gonna have to have a break halfway. I've been going all day, so I've now been walking since 11, and it's 1:45, so nearly 2.5 hours more or less I've been going to get up here. So it's at least, it's over 3 hours to Tvergastein. So det är inte too long. That's bullshit. 3.5 hours return. It takes me over 3 hours to get there one way, going slowly and filming, but still, that's just ridiculous. What nice weather now. Wow, it's a very nice valley. You can see from here. So that creek down there too would be good if they're stocked with trout. It's big enough in places, and the lake is big enough. Maybe, I mean, I could always, it's only an hour and a half to those lakes. I could tjuvfiske. I could just go fish it anyway and fuck the owners. Who are probably the same people who own Prestholt, almost guaranteed. And who knows, maybe there's fish. I mean, I doubt it. If it's not stocked, there are probably no fish, but I mean, why not? Good grief. What are they going to do? They report me to the police. Tube fisking. It's worth the risk. Anyway, I've got the slog 150 meters up and about 3 kilometers across, so it's got a long way to go. 2.5 kilometers. No, not about 150 meters up is a lot. That's quite a slog. Have to get up to anyway. All right. Well, another 100 meters up and 1.1 kilometers over, 1.2. There's 2 people ahead of me. I think they came by helicopter because I didn't see them trekking up this way at all, and they're not that far ahead of me. So they cheated. It looks like I've got a snow bridge to cross. Anyway, and I'm not going to take a break now. I'm going to go to the home stretch. I should be able to do that in 40 minutes, thereabouts. Well, that was an older couple in their 60s. I think they walked up. I mean, who knows, maybe they did chopper it up, but they weren't there long enough to really chopper it, so... Well, they were, maybe, so they could have. I think they hiked up, they looked fit. Maybe in the early 60s, mid 60s. So hope for me yet. Probably fitter than me. If they weren't for the Vididas, it's not much of a trail at all. A couple of Vididas there for some reason, I don't know why. But there's really no trail. It's a goat trail, so there's a lot of just rocks and moraine and grass. So very hard to find the trail. Not many people here, although I did pass two now, so I think I should be pretty safe joining from the top here. I mean, good grief, people report me to the police. Maybe if there's someone actually staying at Tvergastein, but I doubt it. I think I'm safe. It's a Monday too, hardly anyone out here. Those would be about the only people I saw today, plus the two turn around. So this is such a good droning spot. Good grief. So, I don't know, it's naughty droning like that, but alright, I have to head to the Vididas, I think. Looks like the trail, I don't know where it goes. This is strange. No trail. Disappears here. Unless it goes further up. I don't know, is this it? There's two Vididas here, but there's a go that way to the left. There's a Vidida there, kind of, and then there's two bigger Vididas here. I'm not sure. It bifurcates. I think I stick to the lower one. This is the main trail. Looks like. I don't see much of a trail up that way. And it could be that one, but... And there's another Vidida up the top there, but... I don't know. Going in the right general direction anyway. So I'll run out of battery. Run out of battery just as I get to Tvergastein, or just before. So... It's gonna last about an hour. Which is not too bad. Let's see what I expect. It's been I've shot an hour of footage basically. We do have to go up this way. All right. No trail. Disappeared. Making me a steer. There's a Vidida. That's not natural, that's a Vidida. There's one there too. So, alright, thank God for those. Do have to go up 60, 70 meters. Long way up. This is the bit that Mama didn't like. Too steep, too eerie. There was the trail. Yeah. Anyway, alright. Well, I'm on the trail again, so that was right. So, much moraine, but you can see that's a proper trail, and even some Vididas. 4 people now, or 2 coming up, plus the 2 going down. That means probably no droning here. People, you never know, they might get angry and report me or something. So I have to drone from h264, which is really a pain. It's not, I don't get the view, I can't see where I'm going. This would be spectacular to drone here, it would really rock. But I can't do that with other people around. It's definitely not. Anyway, still more people. Jesus, crowded here. So, it's down there. So no droning up here, definitely, and that's out. What a shame. Amazing number of people out here. And they're all older too, they're all pensioners. And this is a long way from Istos. And look, Istos was this whole way over there. Jesus. Even without the wide angle, it looks a long way away, so. Still more people, another 70-year-old. Lots of very fit pensioners going up this thing, and they start early. Pensioners always wake up early. So everyone's been in their late 60s or early 70s. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. Going down. Something else. So, popular trail after all. On a Monday. I mean, they probably live here most of the time, but impressive. She was not young. Not a smoker, obviously. Anyway. We're getting to where Mama stopped. Pretty sure she stopped around here somewhere. Or a little further, and then I ran on ahead. Didn't want to go across all the bouldery stuff. I think she went a little further than this, but not much. May have even been back there somewhere. So she was still a kilometer from the 800 meters, a kilometer from the Tvergastein. Don't know exactly where she stopped. Back there, I think. I think it was just around here somewhere. This was too much for her. And it's steep, obviously. There's a cliffy thing over there. She was worried. I mean, it's too late now. I don't think she can do it anymore, but she could have done it easily. There was a bit more snow. She could have easily done it, but her nerves got the better of her. Anyway, she was close enough. So only another 20 meters up and then 800 meters across. So, so close but so far, Mama. Well, this is more or less where it flattens out. I didn't go all the way there either. I didn't want to leave Mama waiting too long. But I went till I could see the cabin. So it was another 200-300 meters. There is a cliff below us, kind of. Bit of a drop. So Mama didn't like this. But this is what it looks like on the... I'd call it the final approach, more or less. This is the flat bit, and then there's no more climbing. Just rock scrambling, quite a bit of rock scrambling. Good trail though. So, just about out of batteries. So I've got 2 more full batteries, and then will I drone here or not? Will I get arrested? That's the question. I would like to drone here along the cliff face. That would be pretty cool. I could probably go off a little ways towards the lake and drone from there. There's a lake up here. And I don't think anyone would mind that. That'd be fine. I mean, good grief. They may not even hear it if I'm far enough away. I think I can do that. And then I'll drone down that way to Tvergastein. There's a bumblebee all the way up here. And there's the creek. I could fish that someday. Just poaching, tjuvfiske. I could try it. I mean, I think it's too tiny, but I mean, there may be some piddlers. I doubt it. I think it's too small. It's nice to drone though. Very nice for droning. Shame there's no real trails here. Well, I see some goat trails down the bottom actually. It's quite a ways. And where's the... So when we go skiing, Finn, we go skiing past, all the way past over that, and behind these 2 big hills, or up the top of these big hills, or no, behind which hill though? Maybe even up this hill over here, and then down and behind. Yeah, I think it's this big hill coming up, and then behind and down towards the one that begins with E. I can't remember the name. Here comes the sun. Wow, it's spectacular. I am droning from up here, damn it. Damn the consequences. I can see the cabin. So I came as far as this. Mama was very close after all. Mama was just a little ways away. If she'd gone 600 meters. So this is the first time I've been there, because I turned back right here last time. So that was not too cool. I could go. Oh, there's no trails though. Right? I may have to go back the same way I came. Here's Tvergastein. Cool. This looks like I made it for once. So this is what it's like the last 200 meters. For Mama could do this actually. If we went slowly enough in so late summer, I have to wait until August. It's snow-free. Or snow-free. She could do this, I think. I mean, it's a big hill up, but if you go slowly, then it's fine. It doesn't smoke anymore, so I think she could do this. Whoops, don't want to fall over here. It's quite a big rock. Could even be people there now, who knows. Don't have to picnic right next to it. I don't know about droning. It's definitely illegal in national parks, and I could get in trouble. There's two people behind me, and the people staying. I don't know. That's a big if. I don't know if I don't think we go up this valley when we go skiing. I don't think we go this high. I don't know. I think we go that valley down there, down that way somewhere. Who knows? I think this is too high up. I don't think we go here. We don't go this close to Tvergastein, so it's further down that way. The ski trail. Definitely. Pretty sure this is too high up, I think. And you'd see the cabin and from the trail. So this is, we don't go here. It's a cute cabin. It's not huge, but it's not small. It's pretty big. Oops. Let's get a better view of it here. Could be people staying here, you never know. So don't go and peer through the windows. It's got a huge stone wall out the back. And there's a lake for water. Don't shit in the lake. It's a water supply. Anyway. Good view. It's a space for a spot for a mountain climber for sure. Mountain climber philosopher. Anyway, this battery's still alive, so I'll take a few photos. Well, I think this last 10 yards Mama wouldn't like very much. It's fine, but it's a bit steep on the left side, as you can see, and nothing to really catch a fall, so that would be pretty bad if you fell down that way. So I want to be a little careful. I mean, she might be okay, but I think maybe this would be not so good. She wouldn't like that. No, it's fine once you get up here, but it's a little exposed and a little steep. There's the cabin, huge stone wall behind it. It's fine going that way though. She might be alright, I don't know. There's the lake. I don't know if I could drone from one of those hilltops. I'm still way inside the national park. But I mean, that might be alright. Bit of a hike. Här är Tvergastein. big. Probably maybe climb this rock behind, who knows. Between when he was philosophizing. It's got a serious windbreak, which makes sense because the wind comes from there. Okay, turn you off. Last little bit of battery, but we're just about there. Then we can have a break, and then I have to find a place to drone. Maybe on that ridge line, I think. But here we go. Doesn't look like there's anyone there. There could be. Don't know if there's a hittable. Quite a view, very exposed. It's not small. It's quite low down though. So there's huge cliff behind it. It's a very windy spot. It's a good thing there's a stone wall for the wind. Enough rocks to pick. But I think there'd be a sign or something here. Stabilization really makes a big difference. I don't have to stabilize this. I don't know if it can hear me though, because it's not pointing at my face. I think there'd be a sign or something. You're a hiker. Shout out to Wood. There we go. Deep ecology. 1937. Well, made it. It's quite low down. It's low and it's not that huge. It's not small, but it's not huge. So there'd be a few free rooms, and it's got a nice view. Built in 1937, so just before the war. 2 years before the war, I think. It's got a good stone wall for barbecuing or whatnot. Does he have a bench there? No, not really. No, I ran out of batteries just as I got to the cabin, so more or less. So we'll go have a look-see at the other side. Well, you've seen one side of it. But we can have a look at the front side. Take a photo of how it looks. I don't know, there may be people inside, I'm not sure. Smooth, hyper smooth. It's hyper smooth. So I think we'll try and drone from not this little hillock, but the next one, if I don't have to go up and down too much. That's the question. I want to do that. I've got lots of time. I'll take a few more photos of the cabin, I think. Turn this off. 54 minutes left on this card, so I've gone for over an hour. It's a lot of footage. Well, I think I didn't get the footage. There's a trail here. That someone had an apple polluting, but here it is again. So, and there's the alcove. out of the wind. Barbecue there. Of course, you have to drag wood up. Not such a good idea. And don't know if there are people here now or not. I don't think so. It's locked, so there's no one here. That's what it looked like on the inside. It's very pretty. So, very cozy. He's divided into 3 rooms. Looks like 3 rooms. This is his bedroom, big bedroom. His bed. And that's curtained off. So, then there's a storage room and a kitchen, it looks like. Kitchen, bathroom, I think. I don't know if people still use this or not. It's locked. There's no one there now, so they'd be locked in. But don't know if you can see anything. Storage room. Alrighty. Oh, that was quite a hill to climb. It's blowing almost too much for droning, but I did drag a drone all the way up here. So we're gonna have to dig it out. Can put on. It's not blowing that much. It's blowing a little. Drone. There's no one here. I can drone safely. Especially if I do it from that hillock over there towards Tvergastein. Down there, that way. Be pretty cool. See why Mama wouldn't like that little bit of trail there. It's a bit cliffy. But anyway, no sign of rain. I'm literally just in a t-shirt and my fishing shirt. I haven't even put on a sweater yet. 2 jackets with me, so it should be fine. And it's time for a break, I have to say. Could even drone from there. I mean, good grief. I'll drone from over there because then I can drone towards Tvergastein. Anyway, I have 3 batteries with me. Good grief! I can do all day droning. I'll drone over this along that cliff edge. Anyway. Oh, knee is not so good though. Left knee is a bit sore. Just has to get me home. To see how many kilometers this was. It's been 3.5 hours now. I've mucked around, and then up here it is. 7.7 kilometers, 8 kilometers, so 16 kilometer round trip, and I've been going for 3.5 hours, so moving time 2 hours and 15, but no, it's more like 3 hours. I've had some stops and just now, obviously. Anyway, let's get to that hill and then it's break o'clock and drone. Alright. Well, I think I'm looking at where he got his water, because he had to have water and he was there 14 years. I mean, good grief. Maybe not in winter, but in winter you melt snow. But this little creeklet here, it's drains from the lake down. I have to cross somehow. But I think this is where he got his water. Definitely, it's the shortest. There's even a path outside the cabin leading down here. So 14 years he got his water from this little creek. So something else. Alright. I still have to get across this though. I mean, my left knee is a little painful. It's not too good. The jump across there is too much. I'm not. I could, but I'm not going to jump that. It's too risky. So I have to go back. It's not good and it's slippery. Watch the vegetation. I have to get this up. Oh. It's too wet. Wow, it's pretty harsh. ornament over here maybe. If it's too wet. How am I gonna get across this creek? I wanna get to the top up there, the drone. See the view. Looks like yeah, it's not so simple. Huh. I have no idea. It's a bigger creek than I expected. Not getting across there. Not there. I don't think I can make it across. I mean, I'll get wet. That's the problem. For sure. I may have to try that, and then I may be up for a pumpa here. I think over there is the only shot, but I'll try further up. Good grief. Well, it's very pretty here. You could come here and lie down on the grass. I don't think I'm getting across this thing. Maybe. Well, but have a look. So there's the cabin. Tvergastein. There's all this beautiful grass. Crystal clear water. You could just wander down here to pick up water from this little creek. Be perfect. And I do have to get across here somehow, so I'll start more or less. Don't really want to get sopping wet. I'm gonna have to pump a little bit. I think I see a way. Oh, quite wet. Good thing these are waterproof. And then I'm not sure I can get across here. This looks like getting very wet territory. This is no good. No, that's too wet, too deep. Too deep. Can I get across over there? Maybe. Over there. This is shallow enough I can go. Still one kind of big jump there. Or I could go here, and if I can get across that last bit. Oh, it's deep though. It's very much plumpa territory. Plumpa lumpa. I think we found the path. Depending on how deep this shit is. But it's fine. Yep. Well, thank God for Gore-Tex. Made it across. That was a piece of cake, actually. Anyway. Alright, another hill. Our bud is up here, actually. This one. Sunlight is a nice color too now. It's not golden hour, but it is 3 o'clock. It's not dark at 10 anymore, so I have to keep a bit of an eye on the time, but it's all downhill now, more or less. and then steak tonight if I have enough energy to make it. Otherwise I'll just have the baguette for dinner or another sausage. Don't want to see the view though. Drone. Alright. One last little hill. Impressive rock. How's avoided it? Good grief. Anyway, so he's tramped around here a lot, old Horn and S, without a doubt. I'm in his backyard. Well, kind of curious what the view is going to be like. Should be good. I'm up here. Certainly got a few spots to park the drone. I don't think helipad's going to be so easy. It's a bit of a cliff actually. No, not really. Little drop. That's where the trail goes in summer, in winter, along that creek. It's a birdie. Swallow or something strange. Place to have it. But we can drone towards Ustosa from this Tvergastein. But I don't see any people whatsoever, and they're not coming over here to report me, so I need a landing spot though. Don't want to chip the rotor blades on the rocks. That's a bit of a worry. I mean, I could even do it from here. Let's see what the view is towards Ustosa. Drone a little bit towards Arne and S's house. Of course, if I post it to YouTube, droning towards Arne and S's house, then I could be in trouble. Someone could report me. I mean, very few people view my videos, so, but you never know, some dickhead. I think this is too much wind here. Let's go back to the other spot. There's the viaduct. This is not ideal. Too much wind. Wind is coming from the south for a change. Kind of. Or coming from the east. There's Arne and S's place. I have to take a photo. Put a jacket on too, actually. Can I drone from? Could drone from just there. It's not that interesting droning towards Ustosa. Stupid wind is bad. Dragged it all the way up here, God grief. And 2 batteries. And if I don't drone, I'm an idiot, because I drag a lot of batteries, extra SD cards, the drone, 3.5 kilos worth of stuff I dragged up here, the remote. I'd be an idiot not to drone. It's very windy and it's not. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, think about it. Break first. Well, I changed my mind. I don't think I'm droning here after all, because if someone sees it online, they may are likely to refer me to the police. It could be someone from the foundation or someone just googling Tvergastein. So it's too risky. It's happened to someone before. He posted a video online of him drowning in a national park, and he was charged by the police for, I don't know what, 20 or 30,000 kroner, which he had to pay and had to say guilty because the evidence was there in the video. So unfortunately, there are these people, these assholes. I mean, I could make the video private and then be fine, but it's also blowing too much for the drone, I think. It's absolute borderline. So I mean, I head back. I'm gonna have another 10-minute break here. My knee's hurting, and I can drone legally from h264, and it'll have to be good enough. It's a shame, but don't break the law, Arnie. Don't break the law. And the question is, the wind is blowing straight in the microphone. Can you even hear me? But still have another battery, and this one's nearly full. Anyway, it's going to be a long video. It's Tvergastein behind me. I have to cross the creek again. I found a path though this time. Anyway, so sit here for 10 minutes, have another slug of water. I'm not hungry yet. I do have a huge roast beef baguette, and the view across here is amazing. We certainly picked a spot with a view. So anyway, another 5 or 10 minutes, and then we mosey on. Then we have to go down that huge hill and back the way we came, I guess, and then a drone on the way at h264, which is not nearly as good as droning from here. Not by a long shot, but that's alright. I want to be able to post it publicly and not have to search for it and log on every time I post it. So anyway, well, time to head off. I didn't leave anything behind, no cigarette butts, and over that way is Tvergastein. That's evidence stolen down there. So it's a few ways away. It's a long day hike. So head back the way I came and maybe do some droning from h264, I think. I have to climb the hill though. And I have another hill to climb up to Tvergastein. There it is. Well, I mean, I'd be fine to drone here. There's no one here at all whatsoever. I'm all alone, but the problem is, as soon as I post it online, some jerk will phone it in or whatever, email to the police. So, oh, phone is buzzing. Alright, put you away. Well, I'm on the trail he used to get his water. He got his water from the creek, and there's the trail there. Get straight up to the cabin. So it's the water trail. 14 years, pretty tough. I don't know if he lived here all year round though. It'd be pretty tough in winter. How he got stuff up here is before there were really any helicopters. Good question. No wood up here, so how do you heat the cabin? Saw some big propane things there. Whoops. Some big propane tanks in the back, but I have no idea how we heated the cabin. Propane burner or a little oven. It's the only way, really. Maybe it's only here in the summer. Would make sense. Pretty tough in winter. Well, this is the last hill for a bit. Left knee is a bit painful. It's not so good. So I'm going slowly. It's because I'm too fat. Just like Warwick. did his knee in Scotland because he was too fat, had to be wheelchaired on the plane. That's how bad I am. Anyway, well, it's very locked, so can't get in here in an emergency. Worried about the left knee. Has to make it for another 4 hours hiking. Well, at least 3.5 hours. I'll be back at 7:38. It's now 3:40. So if I can be back at 7, that means no droning. Doesn't bother me that much. Let's see, it's got a big old, too much reflection in the window, can't really see what's in there. Anyway, it's the sun this way. It's reflecting like no tomorrow. Well, you see me. Anyway. It's quite a job building these walls. He had a carpenter help him build it though. Didn't build it himself. Quite a view though. Especially behind and in front. This one, hell of a view. One of the highest private cabins in Norway has got to be 1,500 meters. This dude says all the way down there. You can see the hotel from here. Anyway, alrighty. Oh, there's more people. Yeah, alright. So, droning is definitely out. That's alright. Anyway, I'll drone from h264 if I could be bothered. Otherwise, I've carried an extra 3.5 kilos for extra exercise. That's fine. Cold beer is waiting. May not be any sun when I get back. Would be good to have cold beer in the sun, but I don't know. We'll see. It'd be really tragic to drag a drone all the way up here and not do any droning whatsoever. That may be how it is. Oh, really pretty valley. Anyway. Alright, I can put you away. You don't need to see the whole downhill bit. Well, I'm on the flat bit, past the steep bit, well, more or less, and another 3 people. So, well, the 3 that I saw in the distance, a family and their teenage daughter. So, lots of people. We've passed, well, 7, 8, just on this trail. 8 all up today, I think, plus 2 lower down. That's 10. So there are people who walk here, even on a Monday. I mean, it is still school holidays, so just the trail. There's Tvergastein. There's the skiing bit where we go in winter. It's quite a ways, actually. It's fast on skis though, because it's down and then up and then just goes really fast. It would take you long, 4 times as long by foot. Without a doubt. So .7, 16, 17, it's all up. It's about 18 kilometers to where I went past Tvergastein. So it's a fair old hike. See when I get home. I've got the GPS running. It'll have taken me 7 or 8 hours though, instead of with a lot of stops and a lot of filming. 7 or 8 hours instead of 3.5. So that's a 2 log is a joke. Ooh, left knee is. I have to walk carefully because left knee is not happy. And a long way to go. Only halfway. It's a bit easier on the flat and downhill. Better for it. Just passed yet another 2 people. One with a big bag. Both in their 70s. So that's 5 already just on the way back. Plus 3 on the way up. Now we get to almost stone, which is either this one here or the flat sitting stone just down there. This is as far as she made it, which is only a few hundred meters to the cabin. She was so close. Unbelievable after going all this way. Not a shame. Anyway. Bit of sun. I'm all bundled up because it's a lot colder going down with the wind than sweating up this hill, which is, ooh, it's quite a hill. It's quite a hill. This wind sucks. Left knee is really not so great. It has to hold out till we get home, and then I might have a rest day tomorrow to rest the knee. It's not so good. Well, battery's halfway done. Just one more battery. Ooh, it's a bit painful. Just body is not in shape. Not carrying that much. Just been a while since I've been hiking. Now 10 or 11 days, and maybe the camping trip wasn't so good for it. There we are. Good drone from that plateau there. I mean, good grief. No 20,000 kroner fine. No police. Not going to. Ooh. I'm not going to risk it. Knee is bad. Just going to have to go very slowly. Once we get down, should be fine. It's more or less flat. Gradual down, just this bouldery bit. It's not so good. I haven't done any permanent damage. It's been playing up a little bit. Should do some knee exercises, strengthen it, instead of going from 0 to 100 with a 30 kilo pack. It's quite bad. Little steps. get down the bottom of this hill and it's more or less cruising. Oh, I've definitely hurt it. This is not good. I've definitely hurt my left knee somehow. So just gonna go very slowly. It's lifting it, it's the problem. So strained. I missed maybe the last hike of this Tvergastein trip. That's not so good. Not carrying anything either, really. It's acting up on the way up though, so yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, just go slowly. Have to make it back. Alright, here's where the trail disappears. Turn you off now for a bit. Well, just going easy on the knee, it's fine as long as there's a trail. It's these steep downhills and boulders that are no good. But we have some friends. So, it's muddy. Follow. More people, Jesus. The main trail. Downhill is not so good for the knee. Mud is everywhere. Yeah, very well. Ooh. He's not happy with the downhill. Well, I'm coming to Tvergastein. I'm going down the right side, again closer, the right side of the trail this time, so I don't have to cross a big expansive creek. And then the question is, the light is faded. Is it worth droning? My knee is kind of hurting, so it would be nice to have a cold beer in the sun, if there's any sun left. But I did drag the drone all the way up to Tvergastein. To drag it all the way down without droning at least a little bit would be pretty sad. Maybe a short droning session, but then I have to climb another hill. This is not not super keen on. Maybe drone legally. Lots of people. So as you can see, there was another one waiting for a family climbing up the sky there. So that goes right to the top. That's quite a climb. That's up to 1850 meters. That's and my knees are definitely not up for it. My belly is too fat. So anyway, so that's about 20 people I've met today at least. Lots and lots of people, and some going right up the cleft or the gorge up there. You can get right to the top, although then you got serious avalanche danger from the overhanging snow up the top, I would think. Pretty sketchy. Skavlid, I'm not sure what they're called in English. Cornices. Wet, warm cornices hanging over, which is pretty sketchy. But the sun on the mountain is beautiful, but I don't think I'm droning because it's a bit late and my knee's tired, and my knee's recovering, but I'm tired. I want to kind of go home and have a beer and then do the video. So I dragged the drone, 3.5 kilos of batteries and drone remote and a landing pad all the way up here for nothing. But I've got another week, so I can do a trip just here. It's only 2 hours only. But 2 hours when there's a bit less, it's a bit too windy now for droning. Down where I'm standing right now, there's not much wind, but as soon as you get up out of the valley, it's very windy, almost too windy for the drone. I mean, probably do it okay, but you get all kinds of beeping warnings. Wind warning, beep, beep, beep. So anyway, time to head home. But look at the colors, just gorgeous. And I think I've got the hang of this GoPro now. It's not that complicated after all. It seemed like it, but it seems to be working. So, and I've still got half a battery left, so I filmed for nearly 2 hours. I only got 19 minutes left on this, so that'll be 2 hours of footage all up when I'm done, which is really a lot. May have to do some editing this time and not just slap it together. But so here's the sign. So on the other side of that sign, up that way, runs horizontally, you're allowed to drone. And if you can drone into the park is a good question, and I'd have to climb that hill, which I don't feel like, and set it up. And then there's really, it's a bit too windy. That's the main problem. Excuses. I should really drone. I dragged it all the way up here, but it's voluntary kind of. It means hiking all the way up the top of this hill behind me, and setting it up, and then I'll come back here. I mean, this is a really nice hike, the nicest hike here. So I mean, I'll just come back here and then just spend a whole day droning, and I might even bring a barbecue and some sausages, make a day of it. It's not going to be super sunny, but it'll be like today most of the rest of the week. This wind is a bit of a pain though, so droning need an early start where there's not quite so much wind. Yeah, the wind is a bit much now, so borderline. Alrighty. Well, this should look familiar to Mama, and while I'm doing it, just in case, gotta check that. Whoops. Color checker, cheap one. Alright. But this should look familiar to Mama. Lots of sheep, but this is a nice flat bit muddy. And then it's all downhill the whole way. No uphills, well, one tiny uphill. And the question is, when the mic is facing away from me, can you hear? Do I have to shout? The wind is blowing straight in the mic. We'll find out. Lots and lots of sheep. culling quite of a sheep. Maybe I should have some lamb before I leave. I should definitely have a trout. I had to throw away the last one, it got too old in the sun. Hello. There's the lake. There's h264 coming up. I'd have to climb to the top of that hill, or I could just run from here, but it's just not that interesting. It's just all flat. This h264 is better. Anyway, this hyper smooth steady thing, stabilization, is super though. That saves hours and hours. You can even edit it on a laptop, just about. So it makes a big difference. Anyway, maybe not my laptop, a new laptop, you could edit it. Anyway. Break time by the pond, take 5 minutes here. Relax the knee. Knee is a lot better on the normal trail. Going down was not so good, and going up was not so good. Just hasn't been exercised enough. Need to do some knee exercises, probably. It's very pretty here. I could drone here too, but I think I want to get home. It's already 4:30, so 5:30, 6:30, 2 hours down. 6:30 there's still sun, so I can chill out. And I've got a week, so I'll come up here again and do just droning just to here. I won't go all the way to Tvergastein. Tvergastein. And I think Prestholt is maybe a bit far. I mean, I could go to Amahay and drone there. And here's quite nice to drone, although it's a bit featureless because there's no valleys or anything. It's all flat. There's one kind of valley over that way. And there's the pond. And obviously there's this big rock behind me. And I've got 15 minutes left on this SD card, so that's going to be a long video unless I cut it down, but we'll see. I may not bother. Maybe just slap it together and then let people fast forward. We'll see. I'm curious how the footage turns out because this is a brand new camera, and the main thing is the wind noise. That's either going to kill it or it's going to be okay or better, or I have to somehow sort an external microphone for it. We'll see. Well, more or less all downhill from here. And it's a nice trail, so this is a lot easier on my knees. I think just knees are no muscles. Well, it's too much for it. But anyway, there's the lake. Trail to h264 goes just over there somewhere. Don't see the stockade, but not far from here. Well, I mean, the colors are no good for droning anyway, so may even be some sun when I get back. That would be nice. And then I get to color almost 2 hours of footage and edit it. We'll have to edit it, it's too long otherwise. Can't just string this together. It's now, well, 10 to 5. I'll be down at 6:30. Something like that. And then I might just have the baguette for dinner. I'm not maybe too tired to cook up a big steak. I think just easier. I still have a week and I've got 3 steaks in there, so I'll chop it into 3 or 2 monster steaks, who knows. Tomorrow's a chill day at home. I gotta rest my knees, so relaxed day tomorrow. And then Mama will like to hear this. I have to get my hair cut at Yalo at some point before I leave. So a day trip to Yalo, and maybe even pick up some more mountain shoes for Bergen so I can leave these here. They work really well. I'm breaking them in. Not much cushioning then, not much ankle support though, so it's a bit hard on the ankles and the knees for long hikes. So I maybe should have worn the boots, but they're comfortable. They don't press on my toes like the boots do. So there, it was a super buy, 1,000 kroners, half price, less than half price. Normally 2 or 3. So very happy with that. The boots were half price too. So sorted. Just have to sort Bergen now. Anyway. And that's where we came from. Going at a good clip now. Knees can tolerate it. Well, it's a lot warmer down here, and I have to do this guy again because the sun is out. It changes the colors. Whoops. Anyway, and see the cabins. So we're about 1.5 kilometers from the road. It's quite a ways from the road to Tvergastein. That's a good 5 kilometers or something, which is a few ways, I think. Oops, that wasn't too bright. These are still pretty sore, so tomorrow is a break day. Much warmer down here. This is t-shirt weather almost. And the wind has died down here. So should be droning. See the trailhead more or less, almost. Be easier once I get on the road on the knees. It's too much for me. Leg muscles are atrophied. Knee muscles have atrophied, the ones surrounding the knee. And there's not much cushioning in these shoes. So, I see the trailhead. Alright. Let's get down this hill and then we'll be sweet. May even get some sun on the little lifter balcony, maybe. It's now 5 o'clock. I'll be down around 6:15, I'm guessing. 6:20. 6:30. Make it 6:30. It's an hour, well, 40 minutes to the trailhead. Isn't that what it was, 50 minutes? And it's half an hour to the trailhead, more or less, along this trail. So, time it. It's now 5 past. 5:30, I should be at the trailhead. 25 minutes. Alrighty. Got 9 minutes left on this card. Well, we're coming to the trailhead. Coming to the trailhead, so then that should be easier on my knees once I hit the road. And this was a bit too much for my knees in one go. And the sun's kind of gone. Get some sun later on the lifter balcony, on the little balcony. Cold beer sounds really good. And then I'm going to be too tired to cook that steak, so just going to have that big baguette for dinner. A bit miserable, but I do have to eat it. It's been sitting 6 hours in my backpack at 18 degrees heat. It's not so good. So it needs to be eaten. before it gets too infected. See if Mama recognizes any of this. This road is just down there. I've been here a few times now, both to Tvergastein and to Tvergastein. Don't do it that often in the summer though. So mostly when Mama's here, which is now a few years ago, 3 years ago at least, in the summer. So maybe 2. I have to look up. And of course, this spring was nothing. Here before that, I'm not sure what happened. I don't think we went either. It's been a while since she's been here. Maybe 3 years. It's terrible, her own apartment. Huh. It is what it is. Alright, turn off. Well, there it is. There's the road. It was very hard to find before they put the sign up. It was a tricky one. So I seem to have taken the upper trail. That's the road. All right, made it. Check the odometer, GPS, when we get to the sign. And I've still got a few kilometers to get home. 3 or 4, I think, at least. But this is a lot easier on the knees, I think. Alright. Well, dig out the mobile. It's been running the whole time. Alright. Wow, okay, not that many. 14 kilometers, but total uphill of 705 meters. Elevation gain, no wonder my knees are sore. And I've been going for a total of 6 hours. Yeah, that's about right. 6 hours and 6 minutes. For some reason it thinks I've only been moving 4 hours, but that's not true. But anyway, so that's 14 kilometers. Another 4, it's 17 or 18 all up to the 17 or 8, so it's another 3, so 17 at least. Find out when we get there. So I can turn you off for most of the way because this is just boring. It's a road and you've seen it on the way up, so it's a long enough video already. Well, I'm at Lupur, the turn off. Literally the shithole. So on the home stretch, kind of. I've got one hill to go. That little hill. There it is. Turn off. Lupur is down there in the dump. Oh, my ankles and my feet are really noticing it. These are not. I think I have to use the hiking boots for long hikes because these are not. This is quite painful for the feet and the knees. There's not enough cushioning, really, and not enough support. So, well, I'm also out of shape, but these are not so good for very long hikes. Apparently, they are hiking shoes, but my feet really notice it more than they should. Really, my old ones were better. They weren't quite as bad. I did only go I went 18 kilometers, but these shoes are not up to scratch. I don't think for longer hikes. Day hikes fine, but not 18k and 500 meters up, or 700 if you believe the mobile. Total elevation gain, which is a lot. Struggling. It's this last stretch, struggling. I can't believe Mama did this. That's insane, and she was in her 70s. So, early 70s. Very, very impressive. Don't know if she could do it now though. That's a very long hike. And it's a long way up. Just about, you can just about make out the cabin from here. All the way at the top there. Now I just want to get home, have a cold beer, take my shoes off. That's going to be great. Sit down, take my backpack off, and relax. Not there yet though. Still have to go by the yellow house and the road. Oh, it's going to be good to get home now. This is the longest one I've done in a long time. So my 18k, your legs feel it. Well, guess what I see? A house, and it's not far from the yellow house. There's the hotel. There was a patch of sunlight there for a second. So, feet and knees, feet especially, really tired. They've taken a beating. That was a beating and a half. Did it, I made it, but I don't think I could go any further, and not in these shoes anyway. I think that's the limit. I'm way out of shape if I can only go 18 kilometers with the day pack. That's not very good. Should be able to go 20 something. Well, that's still a long hike. 18 is a long way. May even only be 17 by the time we get there. I'll find out. So 2 minutes left. I gotta save you. I'll see you again, third eye, when we get to the hotel and I can record how many kilometers it was. Well, a bit disappointing. 16.5 kilometers took 7 hours, although it was supposedly 700 meters up. I think it's more like 550 meters up, but I could barely walk up the steps getting to the apartment. My knees were so shot. I think the shoes are no good. I have to use boots. Or I'm just too fat and way too out of shape. I mean, it's a long, tough hike regardless, but it shouldn't have been that bad. But it was. So, and there's the proof. 16.75 in 5 hours and oh right, 6 hours and 43 minutes. So almost 7 hours, nearly 17k, not 18. My knees are shot, my feet hurt, my ankles hurt, my toes hurt. Backpack was a little too heavy. I didn't use 3.5 kilos of drone. I didn't even use, carried it all the way up there. Well, a lot of people though, 20 people can't. Don't risk droning with that many people. Someone's going to be a dick about it and call the cops. So anyway, now finally have that cold beer and maybe fish for dinner. I'm not sure I'm up for cooking a beef now. It's too late. Fish and potato, fish and spinach and ready frozen fish with potatoes and 5% white wine. We'll have some rosé wine. Alright, and then it's 2 hours of footage, so this is just about to run out, and then I get the joy of coloring and editing all that footage, and it worked well, the GoPro, I think. Depends on the wind noise. That's the only thing. The batteries worked fine, and I got 2 hours of footage. So this is just about to run out, so I'll turn it off now. Bye.